and I think I paid close to $3,000.
Just feels really positive and Day 8 here, and the saga continues with the interior. The next step is, well, what we're trying to do is, Dave originally had the concept of this being a race car, and now we're trying to put as much interior back in. The roll bar certainly makes it very, very difficult to put a cushion. Dave added these like big little, what are these, DP?
Those boxes for the equal length rear setup.
Yeah, so we'll talk about those later. So anyways, there's a lot going on. What I plan to do is, this is the rear seat delete from Techno Toy Tuning, and it's going to slide into the back like that. However, I do have to cut out reliefs for the bar there, and then we're gonna cover this in some boom mat probably, and some carpeting. And then we'll try to figure something out inside. So follow along. Dave's gonna keep working on the door. That's right.
Yes,
you still haven't finished that door over there. So hopefully by the end of today, we will show you how to put this door together. That's not gonna fit. What's going on here? Man. Do this. Ooh, stinks. So believe it or not, there is about 6 to 8 hours of work into here, which is kind of crazy. I used this DEI leather look sound barrier here, and it really does a great job of kind of, you know, matching the leather here. It's super, super close. You know, there were some little issues that I had, like for example, wrapping these areas here. You can see there's a tiny bit of like creasing that happened, and that's just because I don't know how to take this stuff and wrap it around. But the DEI adhesive spray worked really well on the flat surfaces. You saw I kind of like built this bench out here, and here I just left this. This is gonna go over, there's gonna be carpet that's gonna line into here. I didn't really, I thought, you know, you could access underneath here if you needed to get to the bolts.
My smuggler's box in there.
Yeah, and it just, I don't know, building out like a panel here just didn't make sense for me. And I did have to make some incisions and cuts around the roll bar here. They were all right. You know, again, you really need to have a good hand and have good practice at interior work and fabrication to get this stuff looking like 100%. This is more, you know, between 60 to 80%, depending on who you ask. But I think it's going to function extremely well. Post in the comments, let me know what you guys think, because I think it turned out pretty good considering that I have like zero skills doing this.
All right. Well, Pete did the back seat and really a lot of the interior. I pretty much struggled for the last 8 hours putting that driver's side door together. It is together now, and my God, it was a ridiculous amount of work. And I'm just not good at this stuff. I try the wrong way 3 times before I finally figure it out. But in any case, now that we figured it out on that side, we're gonna show you how to do it on this side, starting with the door handle, which has been polished because during COVID, I had time to polish chrome. So that guy pops in there. This bracket goes on the back side of the handle to hold it in. Door locks arrived from Rock Auto. Had them overnighted at great expense, but it was worth it because we didn't want to hold up the rest of the assembly of this door. And these were like, I don't know, 25, 30 bucks for a pair of them. Made by NGK.
Wow, Rock Auto coming through, and NGK?
Who knew? That's the quality stuff. So, and they do look identical to the OEM ones, except they haven't been ruined by a thief. So, you just pass it through the hole here, and there's a clip that holds it in from the backside. Satisfying. This spring clip basically pushes onto the backside of it, and because of the curvature in this, you know, it creates pressure or kind of locks it in. Try to go. Come on, buddy. My God. The struggle. Connie is fighting us every inch of the way. Oh, there's just not a lot of room to get your hand in here.
DP, that feels very much like a peep show. That shot was really, really creepy.
My hand's in there and I'm moaning and groaning. Yes, I do apologize, everyone. It was a little X-rated, but we will continue to push this spring in there. There's no room to get your hand in anywhere. It's a truly miserable job to work on these windows and doors, but it's gonna be all fresh. I won't have rattling windows. It's gonna make it like a new car, so it's worth the suffering. But in the meantime, I'm gonna complain. Still fighting with the door lock, but we're hoping that as we take some of the bend out of that springy C-clip, we'll be able to push it in there, but right now it's just super, super tight. I'm trying to compress the gasket on the door lock. There. It's in there? Come on, buddy, come on. Oh, that sounded good.
Oh, it's in there. That's locked in. There's no way it's going anywhere, DP. Try the key, try the key.
Oh, the key, yeah.
Put the key in there.
Oh, we have to put the rubber.
I know, I just want to see if it turns.
Oh, okay.
If it turns, then it's locked in place. I don't think it's going anywhere. Yeah, it's tight. It's not going anywhere. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is why everything takes, every step has been taking us like 5 to 20 minutes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just a struggle.
Just small little things.
And we've
like
had practice, so and even then it's a
But
struggle.
you know what I think with this, it's either like the metal has been mangled in there, or the new rubber gasket, this one that went around it, is just a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
So it just caused that, but whatever. Yeah. We haven't even gotten past the door lock, and we already have an issue. The clip, or the rod that needs to clip into here, I don't know if you guys can see in here, but there's a beam right here, this structural beam. You put this in, the rod can't clear here to like pop into here. So we've now taken the whole assembly off here in hopes of being able to move this rod into a position. And with this key lock, and it's still, I'm almost there, DP, but like, what is going on? Oh, and by the way, it was totally fine on the other side.
Yeah, that's the weird thing.
So it's like,
no dramas on that side with this particular part of the job.
Yeah. This is what I need to do that I can't seem to do inside there, and that's put this on here and then pop it on. Oh my goodness.
Don't scratch my minty fresh paint.
I know. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
That's in. So then now let's see here.
Can you get that back to the door? Yeah.
I can, but I don't think I'm going to be able to rotate this now to where it needs to go, DB. Oh my god. Okay, seriously. Now this is all.
After much finagling, it is hooked up, and you can see
It's working.
it is working.
Close it is.
Yeah, but hey, it works. We'll take it.
Look. It's like hitting almost, DP.
You know,
What are they doing?
just adds to the mechanical clickiness of it. That's a win, everybody. As you can see, we've put in the inner door handle release and the lock, which are hooked up by these two rods to two spots here on the mechanism here. All very easy to do. We've also dropped in the two window rails, one on each side of the door here, and they also go in with no drama. There's easy access, just a couple of bolts on top. Now the window regulator goes in. It's also quite easy. You just fish it in through this bottom hole here. Compared to the rear quarters, doing the front's actually much easier. You get much better access to everything. Obviously with the door being open, we can get to things. So you can see that pops in there like that. Drop the window in here and oh, I'm already making a mess of it. All right. Jeez. Man, it's so close. There it goes. All right, she's in the sliders. Actually, before you put the window in, which is now in there and bolts to the regulator, you should put your chrome on. And there's also a weather seal that goes on the inside of the chrome. So first thing you would want to do is put the chrome on here. And now for the very satisfying job of removing a brand new old stock weather strip from Toyota.
How much did you pay for this?
Man, I bought a collection of NOS parts from Joel at Toy Sport shortly after I bought the car, like 5 or 6 years ago. And I think I paid close to $3,000. So 3 times what I paid for the car for a whole bunch of NOS parts, including all the weather strips, all the door seals, windshield gaskets, just a whole bunch of stuff.
So this
plus
stuff
the fender flares, plus the bumpers. So I bought a lot from him.
But this stuff is kind of unobtainium.
It is. Getting the OEM stuff is very difficult, but Connie Glio 1975 on eBay, or he has a website by the same name, does make really good reproduction stuff, including these weather strips and all the weather seals and stuff. So you can do it more affordably if you go to the aftermarket, but if you want the OEM stuff, it's expensive. It was expensive 5 years ago, and it may be unobtainium now, I don't know, but glad I bought it when I did, because I figured you only get one shot at this kind of stuff.
Just so fiddly.
It is fiddly, but once you get them lined up, they do kind of cooperate. This one can go in.
I guess in the 70s, if you broke it, you could go to the dealership, get another one.
I mean, you were too busy shopping for zoot suits and bell bottoms and, growing out a big Magnum PI mustache to worry about things like this anyway, PT. So 2 to go here, and we're moving on. OEM part number 2. This is the weather strip that goes around the perimeter of the inside of the door. And you do not want to do this after you've put the door card on. Don't ask me how I know that. So yes, you want to put this on now because this part of the seal at each end tucks underneath the door card. So if you try to put it on at the very end, not going to have a good time with it. But you can see there's actually like a metal end bracket that bolts to the end of the door here. So I'll bolt that on, and then it just snaps in with these plastic clips all the way around.
So we've got everything in place now, which means it is time to adjust this window. And you can kind of see what's going on already. It needs to be tilted out. When we do tilt it out, you can see up here the gap is not working. Oh, we are way off on this here though, which is puzzling. Quick update here. What are we into this, DP? 25 minutes?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, and
25 hours to do the other side, so.
We're running into an issue here where the glass just doesn't really want to sit nicely in the groove of this aftermarket weather seal. So you can see I've aligned it to the point where here it looks good, and then it kind of just starts catching. You can see it.
Yeah, I think it's hanging up over here somewhere.
It's almost like I gotta pinch my finger, see, like that, and then you. There you go, see?
Yeah.
It's close, but this area here, it just doesn't sit, like you can
Doesn't
see
sit
the gap,
perfectly there,
right?
no.
And I think that's because of just the way the seal, remember how you said this area didn't have
the
like
bend in it,
the
yes,
bend in it?
yes.
So it just kind of like rounds over,
Yeah.
and this is not round enough,
Yeah. Yeah, this is literally the only aftermarket seal that we used on these doors.
Yeah.
And it is giving us a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
I think it's still quite good, but it's not as soft or foamy, and it doesn't have those bends in it in the corners, which I think is probably our problem.
I think you're gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, I mean, this glass needs to be replaced anyway. I forgot that there were these scratches on it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the scratches there or not, but like it's like a kid took a rock to the window and scratched it or something. I'll try polishing it out, but otherwise, I may have to change this window anyway.
To add a little bit of sound deadening to these doors, you can hear they kind of feel hollowy. I put a little bit of boom mat inside on the outer skin, and now we're gonna cover the inside here because this doesn't have any of the like plastic weather seal. So I'm just gonna put this in here and around. I'm gonna go and close off all the big holes, and we'll be good to go. On the home stretch here, you can see the door card is in, and it has been redone by Christian as well, and it is looking mighty fine. You can see I've punched a couple holes. What he doesn't do is do, cut any holes, because obviously you want to do those yourself. And I've been using just a center punch here, a hollow one. And what I do is I put the bolts in, and you can see right around this area. This is for the handle, and then I come in and get the bolt head and give it the old turn-a-rooney here a couple times. Tear that leather, and almost there.
And by leather, he means black vinyl, really. Leather look black vinyl. This is not Napa leather or
this isn't
leather.
no BMW grade leather. Come on, man.
No, this is 70s grade Toyota leather. That's a great technique, PT.
Yeah, look at that. We're through, and you can see on this side, if you had just gone through where, you thought, oh, I'll just go in the center, it would have been off a little bit, and that's why these holes are done exactly like that. So there is some room for error.
And there's his Instagram
there you go.
handle right there. Like an artist, he signs his work. Kind of a shame to bolt on the old door handle here. You can see this one is completely disintegrated. This is the one out of Connie. It's filthy. You can see it does have a slight leather look texture to it, but it's really hard and kind of cheap looking. So I got a couple of better condition ones out of a parts car locally, and I sent them to Christian, and he used the exact same material that he did the door cards in, and he wrapped it. So it's got like a nice, stitch down here. There's a little bit of softness added to it. So it just gives it a much richer, fresher look. Looks proper with this door card. And I've got brand new bolts in here from Connie Glio. The door card is fully assembled, crank handle in place, and man, it does look so good. And now there's like zero play in the window with all these new fresh window strips and everything, or weather strips in there. Like the doors before, when you close it, it just sounded terrible. It was like a rattle, everything was loose because all the rollers and things inside were broken, but it just feels and looks like a brand new car. And if we close the door, it now has a really satisfying sound to it. It just feels really positive, and that sounds like your 930 door closing.
That is good.
It's got like that
DP.
good metallic sound, and it's like, unlike modern cars, like everything on this is metal, so it has like this really, you know, mechanical feel to it. Like this is a nice, and then when you turn the tumbler, it's all metal on metal, key going in there. Like it just kind of takes me back. It really gives me nostalgic vibes to have all this kind of like mechanicalness happening. No key fobs with beep beep and, you know, things opening and flashing. It's just all old school, metal on metal, looking fresh. So really pumped on how this has all come together. It did take a horrendous amount of time. I'm just not good at this stuff. There was a point yesterday where I was fighting with something for like 15 minutes, trying to get it in the door, and then Pete came over and did it in like 2 seconds. And it's just like,
you just had something reversed there, DP.
It was this thing. I had
trim.
that flipped around, but my brain just doesn't work well with some of this stuff. I felt like
It's not you. It always takes time.
it was discouraging. Anyway, expect to spend a lot of hours if you go down this road yourself. This whole interior job was a mountain to climb, but Pete killed it in the back of the car there and all the boom matting, while I kind of learned hard lessons on the door windows and regulators and all that. And then the other side did go much more quickly. So anyway, that is a wrap on this day. Day 9 is over, and this episode is over too. So just 6 days to go, guys, before this car's done. And I think Pete would agree that 6 days is a very realistic number at this point, right?
For sure, yeah. Well, 5. Let's just call it 5.
5 days to go.
Days. 1 week, DP. We're done.
I love it and love it. And before we fully sign off here, I will say that we are actually 3 weeks into this now. So 21 days have passed since we started working on this car. So 9 days means like 9 8-hour working days. And if in 3 weeks we normally would have, say, 15 working days, well, those other 6 days went to video editing, and one was a national holiday, and one, you know, half day was lost when we had guys over visiting the shop to look at a car, and it adds up. So the truth is we are about 9 8-hour working days into it, and we'll keep rolling that way. So even though it's been 3 weeks, it's been 9 official working days. So that's your update. 15 days, I don't think it's gonna happen, but let's hope and let's find out.